Hi, I'm Clara. Welcome to day 1 of the 9 Worlds vlog. It is Friday morning. I got to the hotel last night, met up with the people that I'm staying with as well as people that I'm doing a panel with, and then I went to the opening quiz where my team came second to last. Go us. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I just finished getting ready and I'm about to go downstairs and get some breakfast and a lot of coffee because I'm speaking on a panel at 10 and I'm usually not that functional at 10 in the morning, if I'm honest. It's now 2:30 and I'm back in the hotel room having a little break. I'm sorry the lighting in this segment is not going to be good at all because it is quite bleak and grey outside. Even though it's only 2:30 in the afternoon, it looks really dark in this room. This morning I was moderating a panel on education at Hogwarts first thing, so that was a lot of fun, if a little bit daunting. A bunch of people came to the panel who I knew, so that was really fun, and then I know at least a couple people from BookTube were there and like took pictures and tweeted about the panels. After my panel were done, I went to see one on putting the punk back into cyberpunk, which was quite fun also, and then after that I went and had a little walk around the vendor alley, and because I kept getting delayed and meeting a bunch of people and because I wasn't like super stoked about any of the items at 1:30 and I was already a little bit tired, I came back to the room to have a break. Hello.
Hello. Are you vlogging?
I am vlogging. So it's now super late and I'm in the elevator to go and play a round of cards with a friend before bed. Today has been so hectic and I've been really tired. It's been panel after panel after panel and I'm going this direction, and I was speaking on 2 panels, one at the beginning and one at the end of the day, and that is probably a little bit too many. Thankfully, I don't have that many panels planned in a day again. It's now Saturday morning, it's 8 o'clock. I've just more or less finished getting ready. I'm wearing my Boggart Snape costume today, so I'm really excited. Oh my goodness, was yesterday hectic. I was running around like a headless chicken trying to get some panels ready, trying to talk to people. I didn't end up getting any audio clips for the podcast. I didn't end up getting any vlogging done out in the wild, just in here. So I'm going to try and be a little bit better at that today, but no promises.
So from that, how would we say that the costumes reflect character development?
Well, I think, I mean, this is kind of my my pet talk about Sansa and her character development. So we've got 28 pins. Okay, I'll try and... I went a little bit overboard. Okay, this is one of the earlier ones that we've got. She makes her dresses herself, that we know, and that continues. And we've got her in a nice soft grey, but with a blue in it. So not super like Starky Stark, literally. Throughout season 2, she's copying Cersei, essentially, in her clothing. So, I mean, you've got her hair, you can see she's got copying Cersei and all the kind of southern ladies. She's got the metal belt around her waist, which Cersei wears, and it's very, you know, that's that protective, don't come near me, especially when she knows that the prospect of marrying Joffrey is around it, so it's kind of that more intimate protection as well, like don't touch my body. And you've still got her in the blues and the kind of pastel colours, quite washed out. I mean, she's crying all the time, as you can probably sympathise. And then this one is from the Battle of the Blackwater. She wears this dress, and we've got it in the purple, which I personally see as a House Tully thing because it's red and blue mixed together. I don't think there's any other houses that really wear purple, or any other characters that really wear purple like this. It's really like a Sansa colour.
It's used very interestingly with her, I think. Something significant always happens when she's in that purple. And this dress comes out, and it's when she goes and tries to make a difference. She tries to cheer people up, she tries to keep people busy, because she understands that there is something that she can do in a position of power.
And that's just kind of made me think, actually, because the song she sings is Gentle Mother, Font of Mercy, and it's, you know, kind of this very maternal song. And she's actually basically wearing her mother's dress at this point. So this one is one of Catelyn Stark's dresses, and there's even a picture, I think I've got. Yeah, this one, it's basically identical to what Sansa's wearing a lot of the time. Not sure you can see it so well because it's quite dark. I think this is maybe her in mourning.
There's a scene between Marjorie and Cersei, and Marjorie is wearing a dress very similar in design to what Cersei normally wears. She's got hair like Cersei as well. So,
yeah,
I mean,
I think there's a scene when Marjorie and her friends are sitting around the table and Cersei comes in and talks, and Marjorie has her hair down, which I just took to be because it's morning and she's not dressed for court yet, but yeah, good point. And yeah, she does look very like Cersei, and is then phenomenally rude to her. And says to her, I'm sorry, we don't have any wine on the table at 9 o'clock in the morning, but you know, you can stay for tea if you want, I'm sure you won't, thanks, bye. And
well, that's the thing, she's so rude to Cersei, and Sansa is terrified of Cersei, but in that kind of Regina George way, everyone is trying to dress and look like Cersei. Because like it or not, she's the most powerful woman at court. Even when she's kind of, you know, a bit useless and sometimes like getting things wrong and not being effective, she still is, you know, big mama of the court. And so the more they hate her, the more they try and be like her, perhaps.
So it is Saturday afternoon and I've got a panel in a little bit. I've got to go down to the room it's in and plug the camera in for the length of the panel so that I can keep vlogging later. Not that I've been doing much of that. Welcome everybody, this is how to keep making things when the world is on fire.
Yep, the world is on fire. But one of the things I think that is quite important to acknowledge when talking about how objectively things are not great at the moment is that it is also possible for your personal world to be on fire. There can be all sorts of reasons why you personally are struggling, and that's not invalidated by the current state of affairs.
When you have stuff going on in your personal life, which everyone does, and there is a big collapsing political situation all around you, it feels a little bit like sort of rubbish, pathetic fallacy. Like, you know, it's a bad symbolism, it's a bad writing in whoever's scripting the actual world. You know, I'm feeling awful today and like lonely and lost, and oh, look at this awful thing that's happening in the outside world. Oh, there's police on the street. Yeah, that somebody's like in the writer's room, they've just run out and they're tired, and you know, yeah, I think it's very easy for everyone, but particularly people with a certain amount of social privilege, ironically, to feel like their own personal stuff doesn't matter when the world is on fire, if that's like the term we're using. What happens if you decide that is that your personal stuff doesn't get any better and you also feel guilty, which doesn't help at all anyone, especially not you, but also all the people who have to manage you not managing yourself. If you don't look after yourself, someone else is going to end up doing it. And that person will probably be a woman who has probably got too much on already. So like, this is one of the reasons that I'm all for the self-care is not only something you do for yourself, you look after yourself for other people as well.
Yes, because I think also it's quite easy to say, for instance, hey, there's a convention this weekend, I have a lot of stuff to do before the convention, I'm just not going to sleep that much.
Oh!
And then
yeah.
You get to the convention and on the first day you're really ragged and you sound a bit nonsensical. When you have to, you know, meet people and do panels and, you know, just like maybe give yourself permission to sleep and eat enough meals. I mean, it's the traditional 5-to-1 rule of convention going, right? But you need to apply that to your own life, you know. Remember to drink some water and have enough sleep.
Yeah,
a lot
like
of the time.
drinking more water and going to bed on time is not a bourgeois deviation. It will be gone after the revolution. Like, basically, it took me a while to learn this.
So it's later in the evening. I think it's about 7:30 now. We're about to go out to dinner. I've just finished my panel for the day, which was really, really cool, really well attended, loads of questions, which was really exciting. But now I'm ready to sit down and have a meal. And I'm sorry, by the way, that I keep vlogging from like waiting for the elevator or actually getting in the elevator. It's because there's so many people here, and I've been coming to this con for like, I think since it started. I think this is my 6th year at Nine Worlds, and I have met a lot of people at this con that are really, really great, and I want to talk to them when I see them, because a lot of people I don't see a whole lot of the time otherwise. So I end up forgetting to vlog a lot of the time, and when I do remember, there's too many people, and it's not the most practical thing in the world, so I end up getting the vlogging camera when I'm waiting for elevators, getting in elevators with other people. So it is now later in the evening. It's just about gone 10 o'clock, and we are waiting for the Sex at Hogwarts panel to begin. The room is very, very full. All these nerds here care about this subject very, very deeply. So it's now Sunday, and as you can see, I'm not vlogging from my hotel room anymore because it is way past noon, which was the checkout time, and I'm a tiny bit exhausted. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, and then I was on a panel at 10 AM. It was about fiction, which is a really interesting topic that I approach more from like the fan fiction side of things, because I really like fan fiction, alternate universe stories where you put the characters from one canon in another story universe in another world. For instance, it's really popular to do a Harry Potter AU in which all of your characters from your fandom are all attending Hogwarts together, and you have to sort them into houses and figure out how they fit in that world. Or people do a lot of Inception AUs as well, where people go and like hop within dreams and stuff. So we talked a little bit about that, but mostly we talked about adaptation and which stories it is that we like to retell and why, and what perspectives get retold. It was a really, really interesting panel, and there's a very detailed live tweet that I'll leave in the description box below. After that, we had to go upstairs and pack up our room so that we could check out before noon, make sure we hadn't forgotten anything, all that good stuff. We ended up checking our luggage into storage that was provided by the hotel for the rest of the convention, and because we did that, and there was quite a bit of queuing to do that, I ended up not going to the next panel, which was the 3rd annual Eurovision panel at Nine Worlds, which was a little bit of a shame because it's always a really, really fun panel to go and see. I've seen it the past 2 years. I was a bit sad to miss it, but also it is Sunday morning and I'm exhausted, and I didn't want to run around because I knew I couldn't make it on time, and then I'd have to like sneak in the back and all of that. So instead we went back to the vendor lounge, and I bought this koi fish necklace from the same place that I've gotten my octopus necklace that you might have seen in some previous videos. I've coveted that necklace for a really long time, so I finally caved and let myself just buy it. The shop is called Birch Please. I'll leave a link to that in the description box as well. After I bought myself the shiny necklace, I went to a panel called Capitalism and the Depiction of Labor in Musical Theatre, which was super, super interesting. Like, they talked about a lot of musicals that I actually didn't know about, and they also mentioned, like, you know, actors working, because obviously the depiction of labor in various plays, you also need to talk about the fact that being in the play, being an actor working on the play, that is also work. So that was just a really interesting panel that made a lot of points I hadn't thought about, and that's when I got super excited about as soon as I saw it on the program, because it was just so relevant to all my interests. And it clashed with portrayals of migration in science fiction, which was a shame because that is another topic that is right in my wheelhouse that I would have loved to see. So that's one of those tragic clashes of panels that happens a lot at these conventions, and it made me sad, but after that I've not gone to another panel today. 2 panels in a day is not very many, but if you are on one of the panels, then I suppose it's acceptable to take a bit more time off. I've also tried to get some audio of various people who've been on the podcast before to like do a live episode of the podcast. I think it's going to be quite short, but I'm still pretty glad that I managed to get this much audio. I hope it's usable. I hope it's not too loud. I hope this is not too loud in the background. And I've actually talked to a lot of people about coming on the podcast in the future, so I'm really excited about that. But as things stand, I think it might be it for the vlog for today. Like to see more from me, you can check out a previous video on screen right now. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button that's on my face for a new video from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.